Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. This one's going to be a little bit different. I want to talk about, yeah, I know, another one of my ratchet slash socket sets that I've had for quite a while. Well, probably 10 years. This is the Husky H200MTSMB. 200 because it's, well, H because it's a Husky, 200 because it's got 200 pieces, MTS because it's a mechanic's tool set, and MB because it has a metal box. Yep, that's right. Between 2015 and 2018, Home Depot sold this kit in this 3-drawer metal box. And if that box looks familiar, it's because it is made in China and sold by just about everybody. You can buy it under the Yukon name at Harbor Freight. Gear Wrench sells one. The difference between this and the Gear Wrench, the only difference is this one has a hasp. The Gear Wrench has an integral lock built into it. So that's the only difference between the box. So what Husky did was they had the tools made, and then they had inserts made for the drawers, and then they put it in the box that was readily available on the market. Now, this particular tool set, I'm going to open this up because when it's closed, the drawers do not open. So I'm going to open that up, and then as you can see, you can now open the drawers. What's cool about this one that I haven't seen any others like it. I may be wrong, there may be some, but the current iteration of this box doesn't have this tray up here. Let me show you. See, there's like this tool tray here. Now, these tools don't come in it. These tools are just the tools I keep in it. I used to carry this around in my truck. Now this sits on my desk in the shop, and I use it, you know, if I'm sitting at my desk working. It's nice to have tools handy. I've got the Milwaukee USA screwdrivers. I've got plenty of Husky and Cobalt pliers and adjustable wrenches over there. It's not really about those tools, so I won't go too far into those. I think I've talked about most of those before. What I really want to talk about are the 200 pieces that come with it. So the top drawer, as always, is your 1/4-inch drawer. And as you can see, the bits, they've started to rust. I should probably clean those up. It comes with quite a selection of bits. I think there's about 36 or 40 in here, something like that. A lot of bits. They've even got security torques, lots of them, which is pretty cool. I always like the security torques. You've got shallow and deep. What are these? This goes from, the Imperial goes from 5/32 all the way up to 1/2 inch. That's the 1/4-inch drive. And then now you hardly ever see a 3.5. I don't even know if that's in focus, but it goes 3.5, 4. Does it have a 5.5? It's got a 4.5, 5. Yep, the 5.5, and then I bet it just jumps to 6 after that. I don't know if I've never seen a 6.5, so it's 6, and then 7. Yep, and it goes all the way up to 12. Of course, 1/4 drive, they're all 6 points. Now, it does have a nice little driver with the 1/4-inch hex bit, and you've got the nut drivers for that. They go from 6, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And then the standard ones have started to rust, but those go from 1/4 all the way up to, let me see, well, that's a 12 millimeter, probably goes, all right, yeah, so 11, and then 12 goes up top. That's weird, but they go from 1/4 to 1/2 in the standard. So, of course, you get a ratchet, you get like a 3-inch extension. So that was a pretty cool little 1/4-inch set. And you get the same in the deeps. One thing about the deeps, this is, of course, a 1/2 inch. They are not very deep. They're not broached very deep. And a lot of people like a shallower broach on the deep sockets. It gives you a longer reach. But if you're putting a nut on there, it'll hold the nut towards the front of it, so it's easier to start the thread. It doesn't drop all the way back down, so that's something that some people prefer. All right, then on to the 3/8 drawer. Pretty much what you would expect. You've got mostly 6 point. I think the deeps are 6. Yep, and you can see those are not very deeply broached. The socket, I mean the ratchet, I will go further into the ratchet when I get down to the 1/2 inch. The shallows go from 6 all the way up to, what is that one? 19, which is a pretty typical range for these type of sets. And the imperial goes from 1/4 all the way up to 13/16. Hopefully you guys can see that. The deeps go up to, they go from, I believe it's 6, nope, it goes from 8 to 17, and then 3/8 all the way up to, what is that, 11/16? Yep, 11/16. Now, you also get, all of those are in 6-point. You also get a small selection of 12 points. I don't know, I guess some people need them. If you drive a BMW or a Volkswagen, I hear you might need them. 5/16 all the way to 9/16, and then in the metric 9 to, what is that, 13? Yep, 9 to 13. And these are engraved. It's a very shallow engraving, but they are engraved, so it won't rub off. It's not like laser etched that, or the printed ones that sometimes wear out. Now, the 1/2 inch are all 12-point. I don't know why, they just are. You get in the, did I mention? Yeah, you get an extension in the 3/8. In the 1/2, you also get like a 2.5, 3-inch extension. You do down in the same drawer, you get Allen keys, and this is a full set. I like most of mine, I like to keep it full. The weird part about these are the wrenches. I'm gonna pull out. The wrenches are kind of an afterthought. I don't know, you can tell they're very, very thin, so probably easy to bend, but if you're trying to get into a very narrow area, that might come in handy. Let me just show you. I have, this is a 13. I'm gonna, just to be fair, I'm gonna show the Cobalt 13. I don't know if you can see those head to head. Hopefully that comes out, but they are just slightly thinner, you know, maybe a millimeter or 2 thinner than the Cobalt. So that's one thing you will notice, these wrenches are very thin. Okay, let me pull out, oh, let me give you the size range. It goes 13 to 21. Hopefully that comes out, probably not. And then you'll get 9/16 all the way up to 1 inch. So that's a pretty broad selection there. All right, as far as the ratchet, this is a 72 tooth ratchet. Now, Husky, for as long as Home Depot has owned them, which I think they became the exclusive to Home Depot in '92, and in around 2000 they were bought outright by Home Depot. Of course, Home Depot doesn't manufacture anything, so Apex is doing all the manufacturing. Apex also manufactured gear wrench, and Apex was formed in a partnership with Danaher. Danaher made the ratchets for Craftsman. This is a Craftsman 1/2 inch VH 44809, and if you look, they both have that E-clip snap ring design there, so it's very similar in that way. If you go look up a modern 90, this is a 72 tooth, but if you go pull up a modern gear wrench 90 tooth ratchet, it's pretty much identical. The head is the same. It's even got this little recess right here where the switch goes, which is nice because it keeps the switch kind of down out of the way. It's got the same quick release button. It's got the same taper to the handle, same pommel at the bottom of the handle, and it also has, the gear wrench has 2 grooves in it. The Husky has this extra groove in the middle, and the gear wrench is painted orange. But other than that, these ratchets are identical. They look exactly alike. So this is essentially a gear wrench set. What else is there to say about it? That, you know, it's discontinued. It was discontinued in 2018. You can still find them online somewhere. When they came out in Black Friday of 2015, they were selling for 99 bucks for a 200-piece set in a metal box with ball bearing slides. That was a pretty good deal. And these plastic trays do come out. They just pop right out of there. I'm not going to take them out. My worry is over time, if you're using this set a lot, which I don't use it a lot, it just sits on my desk. If I need a quick, I always like to have a ratchet set within arm's reach of wherever I'm working. So if you use it a lot, I fear these plastic trays will crack. But so far they've held up for the better part of 10 years and no issues. But like I said, I don't use it much. It did ride around in my truck toolbox for a while, but I ended up putting it on the back porch and it kind of became my household toolbox. And then when I moved out to the shop, it became my shop desk toolbox. So come back around here. So yeah, it's a great little set. Like I said, it was available from about Black Friday of 2015 into 2018. So you could only get it for about 3 years. During that time, some people are saying that they got them for $65. If you could have gotten this box, I mean, the box now sells for that. If you just want to buy this box without the cool little tray up there, it's going to cost you $65 from Gear Wrench. I think you can get this box without, like I said, without the tray. Very similar to this, almost identical to this one, except it says, I think it says Yukon up here instead of Husky, but it's $51 usually at Harbor Freight. So for everything you got, if you could have gotten this for $65, it would have been a steal. So if you're out, doing garage sales or auctions or see it on eBay, it's the H200MTSMB. Remember, mechanics tool set metal box. H stands for Husky. And I verified that. Let me show you real quick before I let you go. It says it right there. Hopefully that's in focus. All right, so there we go. That is the Husky H200MTSMB 200-piece mechanics tool set in the metal box. Please, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to chat about it, say something in the comments. Like to hear what you have to say. And as always, subscribe. I'm over 1,300 now and well on my way to the 26,000. So keep it up, guys. Appreciate it. Be on the lookout for more videos. I'll have more coming soon. I took a couple weeks off after 4th of July, mostly because it was hot. But it's not anymore. It's a beautiful day today. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Until next time, guys, ramble on.